Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to episode 216 of Dude and the Monkey. I am one of your co-hosts, Mark Foster, and as ever, I am joined by...
Ian Norring, hello.
and this week we have another double review week, plus a bumper what we've been watching, because we didn't actually get to any last week, plus a little bit Twin Peaks catch-up, because we've got a couple of episodes to catch up on there, but our main reviews are War for the Planet of the Apes, I mean, is there going to be more after this, or is it this closing off this part of it? I'm not sure.
They want to do more, but I think it's going to be a different creative team.
Yes, it seems like that's the idea. And we're also going to cover Sofia Coppola's new film, The Beguiled, as well. Like I say, we've also got bumper what we've been watching, the usual tangents, trailers, and all sorts of bits. Ian, how are you?
I'm more than happy to talk movies for a couple of hours.
Nice, me too.
I don't make me talk about pensions.
I will not unless we watch a film. Either of us have watched a film about the pension system or anything like that. Then I don't think pensions need to come up.
No,
I don't think it's going to worry anybody in any of the movies we watched.
I got a promotion a couple of weeks back, and I'm not. I'm glad I have it. It's been a jump.
Yes, an adjustment. Yeah, they always are, bud. Has anything happened? A few things have actually happened, I think, haven't they, since we last recorded? We sadly lost a great genre director in George A. Romero.
Yeah. I'm sad that he didn't get to make a film which was really truly satisfying in his last couple.
Yeah.
The less said about Diary of the Dead and Survival of the Dead, the better, I think.
Yeah.
Land of the Dead was good. So
yeah, I enjoyed Land of the Dead. I thought it was perfectly entertaining.
But it is one of those ones where he was an absolute titan, and it's sad that he's gone. It doesn't feel like he went before his time situation.
No, he was 71. That's
so. Oh, was he only 71?
I think so. Am I completely missing that? No, he wasn't. He was lower than that, wasn't he?
Because, to be fair, he's looked older than that.
77 he was.
Okay, alright, yeah. So, he was getting up there. It would have been nice if he had another 10 years in him. But, yeah, and God, I sound so facetious when I say that, but it's very, very sad. The guy's going to be remembered for as long as horror films are around. And, yeah, I hope his family are okay.
Well, yeah, we did a marathon of his films quite early on, I think, in the podcast where we
all
covered.
Still available.
Yeah, all still available, absolutely. Yeah, where we covered, I think, the Crazies, Martin, Night Riders, Monkey Shines, and the Dark Half. Did we do?
I think we did do the Dark Half. Yeah, I'm pretty fucking sure we did the Dark Half.
Yeah. It's one with Timothy Hutton, wasn't it?
Yeah, totally. We did the Dark Half.
So it's very sad for all, but a true kind of huge influential director. Anything else happened in the wonderful world of movies other than people just getting angry about stuff?
I just want to very quickly talk about the Patreon.
Oh yes, yeah, absolutely, cool.
Patreon.com/Dude and the Monkey. Thank you very much to Steve Dixon for being the first patron. Steve, you can have used copies of Interstellar, Dawn for the Planet of the Apes, or Arrival on Blu-ray. DM me what you want, and you're getting one of them. If you want any of them. So there you go. That I didn't say anything about that, but good on him. $3 a month. It will get you at least 4 extra podcasts a month.
Yep.
There's And also, Steve being the first patron, I think it's only right that he get the first pick of commentary track.
Yeah.
So, Steve, let us know what you want us to do. If you want to make us suffer or just something you want us to talk about, whatever you want, we'll do it.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a bi-weekly 4K show by me. And hopefully guests, but we'll see how that goes. Mark is going to do a show.
Yeah, which will be the same bi-weekly. I'm not entirely sure. I've got a few ideas, but I'm not entirely sure of what it's going to be on yet. But there will be something, and I'll try and make it good, entertaining, and worthwhile.
Yes. Why are we doing it? Podcast and site hosting fees are a thing which are just increasing in the world in which we live. The podcast site hosting, it enables us to have all the shows available for download with what I believe is unlimited bandwidth, so we don't have to be careful about that. Also, it would be nice. The way it works is I pay for the podcast hosting, Mark pays for the site hosting. The podcast hosting is $240 a year, which I can afford to an extent, but with the site hosting as well, it would be nice if we didn't have to pay out towards that as much as we did already. Yeah. Also, would like better recording equipment, if I'm being absolutely honest. I use a mic that cost me about $10, and I think that probably shows in the quality of the audio. And frankly, it would be nice if Mark and I could get together to do some more in-person recordings, which I think creates a better dynamic, frankly, instead of like talking over Skype, which is fine. But I think in person, and also if we were doing in-person stuff, I think Noel would probably get involved in that as well. Yeah. And potentially others. So it's not, the thing is, it's not that we're going to be suddenly gating off content that people were getting for free already.
No, the paying it forward, this show and Damn You Football will remain free.
Yeah. Damn Games is not going ahead, which is my decision, and I want to thank Andrew for being so understanding about it. It's nothing to do with Andrew. It's just the first episode not bloody recording was an omen, coupled with the fact that I don't feel like I would be able to produce a decent enough show, to be honest. I think Andrew would, I don't think I would. But Damn You Football, paying it forward, and this show will always be on this feed. As long as the hosting fees don't get fucking ridiculous. So there you go. And also, paying for the site, I genuinely don't know how much the site costs. I'm not going to ask Mark to say.
It's pretty much the same, to be honest, as what is it?
Yeah, there you go. So and we do want to do more on the site. I literally wrote my first piece in a while and put it up this week. And I know Mark's wanting to do more writing as well. So
yeah, I want to get back in the groove.
Yeah, exactly. So we're not going to go on our hands and knees. We're not going to beg people, but if people want extra content and want to say you're doing a good job, cheers, $3 a month. I don't feel that is asking too much for the amount of extra content we would be providing. And it would help the both of us out and would hopefully make the show better.
Yeah.
So that's it. Patreon.com/Dude and a Monkey. Please do check it out if you so desire.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There we go.
Cool. Right. So we'll crack in. Trailers. What trailers have you watched this week, Ian?
Yeah, man. I watched a few today actually, just kind of catching up. So Joseph Kosinski's got a new one.
Yeah.
Which I can't remember the name of, but it's about firefighters.
Only the Brave, it's called.
Which is as generic a title for a firefighters film as I think you could possibly get.
It is a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah. Looks like it will be visually interesting. Not too sure how interesting it's going to be narratively. But yeah, did you see this?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I have a feeling it is a bad trailer for what could be a good movie. I'm going into that movie going, I have a feeling this is going to be a solid 7 to 7.5 out of 10 movie.
Yeah. I could go with that. I'm already thinking if I like the look of it, it's going to look great on 4K. Like that flaming bear thing, even though it was obviously CG, it's quite an interesting visual. And yeah, we'll see.
It's a decent cast as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, you got James Badge Dale even rocking up in there, don't you? So that's always a good time. Okay, so Thomas Alfredson's new one, The Snowman, which is, I think, maybe based on a novel by Joe Nesbo, who did Headhunters.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah. I'm all over this. It's Scandi, trashy, thriller stuff, which looks like it's kind of like A-grade people doing B-grade material, rather like Finch's Tattoo remake.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely does look like a movie that should have been made in 1998. Which isn't a problem because I love those type of movies. So I was watching it going, yeah, I'm all for this.
I'm pumped. If they reuse the feel bad movie of Christmas tagline like Tattoo did, then I'd be all over that. It looks like something I want to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. It reminds me a little bit of, remember the Iceman for a few years ago?
Oh, Shannon.
That kind of came and went and disappeared, but was actually quite entertaining.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
It kind of looks a little bit like that.
But it's him and Rebecca Ferguson, and it's Fassbender and Ferguson.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good duo, that is. I watched the shit out of that. And I watched, the trailer for The Shape of Water.
Yeah. Go on then, what do you reckon on this one?
Is Del Toro maybe ever so slightly coasting?
Yeah, thorning it in a little bit.
Maybe.
It looks a little bit Jean-Pierre Jeunet.
Yeah.
More than it does Del Toro.
Yeah,
It looked too clean.
Yes, like Crimson Peak, the production design was all fucking decaying and...
Yeah, and, so was, in the same way, so was Devil's Backbone and Pans, and you could even argue Kronos and, what's the name? The Hellboy movies, are they have that. Mm-hmm. This just feels a little bit too setty, not lived in. Everything's a little bit too nicely pressed and all colours pop. It looks a little bit, I don't know, like there's something. I didn't get on with Crimson Peak, but the trailer did make me go, ooh, yes. This makes me go. I was thinking all the way through it. I'm sure Del Toro directs this. This isn't just one of his throws his name to production of it, is it? Should we direct? Oh, he does direct it. Oh.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, I like the fact that he's obviously still doing his own thing, and Del Toro is not going to make a film unless he wants to make it.
Oh.
And the thing I put up on the site this week about watching trailers, and maybe I shouldn't watch trailers because my conception of a film after watching the trailer is obviously gonna be in my head going into the film. It's kind of impossible to ignore the marketing completely if you've seen it. And I don't know. It just looks like, okay, so she's gonna form a platonic bond with this fish man, and Michael Shannon's gonna be the bad guy wanting to destroy the fish man for some reason, and then she's gonna team up with the Fishman, and then they'll both probably die in the end.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does seem a little bit like you. Not that the trailer gives away everything, but just the story just gives away itself.
Yeah, it's yeah. I'm not feeling it, and that's the first time with Del Toro in a long time. I
think
out of it, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll happily watch it, and you know, there's all likelihood that we'll be glaringly wrong because it is only a fucking trailer.
Yeah, no, exactly, yeah.
But I think had Crimson Peak been a lot better, I wouldn't be as meh about it. But the fact that Crimson Peak was a bit pants, and I've not rewatched Crimson Peak, I might enjoy it more on second watch.
I enjoyed it more on rewatch.
That's quite promising then. But it seems a little bit from there to this, and there's no fanfare with this. No one's excited about it. It's just kind of happening.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually. The trailer dropped, and you would think that for a Del Toro film, that would be kind of like film Twitter catnip, but
yeah,
it seems like everybody's into being anti-Dunkirk 70mm, like, for some reason.
Yeah.
So
yeah, don't get me started on that. What I will say is, do you think, right, just throwing it out there, do you think that if this was in Spanish, exactly the same trailer, but in Spanish, do you think people would be getting all fucking panties in a wad about it? This is amazing.
I don't know, because people like Sally Hawkins and Michael Shannon.
Is it a fair point? Yeah.
You know, so yeah, and I want to see Sally Hawkins like break out really, really big. You know, like she kind of had a moment around the time of Happy Go Lucky, and it kind of felt like that faded. Even though I think it's because she does what she wants to do. She doesn't seem like she's chasing stardom, which is great.
No, I don't think she is. She is at all. I remember the first thing that I properly noticed Sally Hawkins in was she did one of the CBB Storytime things, and I was watching it with Izzy when Izzy was about 2-3 years old, and Sally Hawkins was doing it, and I was just watching it, just going, "This is fucking brilliant." And then immediately I was like, "I'm sure I recognise her from something." And then it was about 2-3 weeks later that I was flicking through DVDs, and the way me and Becky used to choose the DVDs, one of us would go and pull a load out, and then we'd sort of knock it down from there. And one of them was Happy Go Lucky, and I pulled it out and went, oh, fucking hell, it's the woman from the thing. And I realised it was Sally Hawkins.
Nice. No, yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's a good cast. Despite doing the scores promising, you know, it, like you say though, it just doesn't feel like there's much heat. And I think that kind of extends to A Wrinkle in Time as well.
So I watched the trailer for that as well, actually, yeah.
It kind of looks like a film I want to see.
Yeah, that's it. I'm a little bit like that. I'm watching it going, I want to see it, but maybe because I want to see it because it's got Chris Pine in it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very, very up for seeing what Ava DuVernay can do with a big budget. I'm really, really up for that. But it weirds me out that it has the Disney A Wrinkle in Time thing on it. I don't know, like, because the thing is, I mean, Disney with their live action stuff, they, apart from their like remakes of fairy tales, they've not really been hitting it of late. You know, I mean, like The Lone Ranger and Tomorrowland and John Carter, you know, it's not been quite there. And I worry that this isn't either, because it doesn't particularly look like it's for kids, and it doesn't particularly look like it's for adults. I don't really know who it's for, other than people who are interested in Ava DuVernay and who like the source material. And I'm sure that's not a 4-quadrant thing. It just isn't.
Yeah, which is why I think they're pitching it in the same kind of categories as things like The Jungle Book and Aladdin and Pete's Dragon and things like that. Is I think to try and get people onto the bandwagon of almost these being franchises that have a franchise that has no link, and getting into Like I think Disney are looking at them going, right, these are what we're going to use as like the new Harry Potters alongside everything. You know, we're gonna. Disney is amazing. They're literally covering everything at the moment with Star Wars and Marvel and this now. They've become an absolute fucking monster force again. And I think that they're trying to get it so that every fucking Disney movie just makes money.
Well, yeah, no, quite, and I wish it
Branding.
well. I definitely wish it well, but I'm not entirely sure about it.
Mm.
Even though looking at Pete's Dragon, I mean, 143 million worldwide off of a 65 million budget.
Yeah, it just about made money.
Fucking Pete's Dragon's great. It's great. It's fucking brilliant.
I really need to watch that because I watched the first 20 minutes of it the other day before I had to go out because we've Beck's become one of those people with the dog where she puts the fucking TV on to keep the dog company, which drives me fucking mad, but she does it. And the thing that seems to keep him the calmest is the Disney Channel. We've tried Sky Sports and he gets bored and fucking just starts pulling cushions off things. But if he's got a Disney Channel on, he's all right. Which is really fucking weird. But yeah, Pete's Dragon was on before we were going out, and I was watching it going, this is fucking great. I kind of wish I was watching this. But I was like, do you know what? It's there on Sky, on demand. I can watch it like any time. I need to fucking watch it.
You should do that shit. It's fun. I mean, like the climax gets slightly kid film, but the emotional shit is well earned. Yeah, it's good flick. Fucking David Lowery, man, like A Ghost Story. I'm very, very, very excited for that fucking film.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anything for you?
Final couple I would say is The Disaster Artist.
Oh fuck yeah! Oh my god! Yeah. Yes, please.
Yeah, I'm very up for it. I am and I am. I'm up for the movie. I'm irked by the fact that it will again fucking stir up people going on about the fucking Room because it's a terrible fucking movie, and I get that people like it in a cult status kind of way. I just don't think it fucking deserves it.
I don't know. Okay, we should have a discussion about the Room.
I genuinely, I've watched it a couple of times and gone, this is just shit. It's not even fun shit. It's just shit. Why do people think this is great? There's so much great movies out there you could watch that are shit. This isn't one of them. But I'm looking forward to them kind of unraveling the ridiculousness of it all. And I'm glad that it's these guys doing it. It's gonna be amusing. Yeah.
I want to see Franco direct a film and it make money.
Yeah, good point actually, yeah. Whether or not this will or not though, who knows? It might be a little bit too niche.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't know. I mean, fuck, man. Like, Donna's up for watching it, and Donna is not really a film fan, but she's seen The Room, and which is really weird, actually. But yeah, she's well up for this. We watched this on the train back from dinner last night, and just a very good minute and a half.
The other one we're forgetting is the second trailer for Blade Runner.
Fucking hell! Who am I?
Fuck, this film looks stunning.
Dude, like, Jesus fucking Christ! I don't want to watch any more marketing now. I really hope there's not another trailer because I'll watch it and I don't.
There will be, but this does seem like it's the one that's going right. The first one was the teasing you with, look, it's another Blade Runner movie. It is another Blade Runner movie. This one's teasing you going, but this one's got shit to say. And it's like, oh, right, okay, this looks a little bit bigger than I was expecting. There's a lot more going on than I was expecting.
Absolute faith in Villeneuve. Whatever he's fucking like throwing up in the air on catching, I'm all for it.
Yeah, absolutely. The guy's not disappointed me yet, and it looks fucking stunning. Is it? Is it Deacon's directing?
Yeah.
Deep it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause it was it Bradford Young that did
Arrival. Yeah.
Arrival because Deakins was doing something else.
Oh fuck! What the fuck was he doing? I swear he got nominated for an Oscar again.
It was a big gig, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was. But but it was Bradford Young, but he's gone to Deakins. And, Johan Johansson doing the score, and he's already said that he can't not do some Vangelis type stuff, which is fine.
Yeah, it makes sense. It definitely feels like they're not just trying to base this upon nostalgia. They're trying to go deeper into this world.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like I was reading it in Empire the other day, and the thing is, a lot of the time, interviews with actors and stuff, you kind of like take with a pinch of salt. But Ford said like, "This is the best script that's been sent to me in like 25 years or something like that."
Ford looks like he gives a shit.
Yeah, that's it. If Ford is actually saying something like that,
yeah,
I believe him.
Yeah, absolutely. He's don't wrong. Ford looked like he was enjoying himself with the new Star Wars stuff. So I don't think he didn't give a shit about that. I think he was very much, do you know what? I'm glad to be part of this again. Isn't this fun? Whereas it wouldn't surprise me is when they sort of pitched it to Ford and said, look, we're going to do a new Blade Runner movie. He went, not doing it. And he was just sat at home with Flockhart going, not fucking doing it. Can't be fucked. Not going to fucking do it. Then read the script and went, all right, I'm in. That seems a little bit like kind of what's happened.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's the thing. He's not going to do it unless he wants to do it.
Yeah.
Ford doesn't have to do it. I'm sure they paid him well, but he gets to play with Ryan Gosling and maybe Jared Leto, and gets to work with Villeneuve, and it's a story he's interested in, and he's friends with Ridley Scott again. It's like fucking brilliant, fine. And if they kill off Deckard, then fine. Let's just see what happens. October, man, it's not that far away.
It's not that far away. It's really not.
It's less than 3 months. This film's out, so
October's becoming a really good month for movies as well every year. It's one of those months like you look forward to and go, do you know what? It's the stuff that maybe should be considered for Oscars, but isn't an Oscar baity type movie. Mm-hmm. That seems to be what gets released in October nowadays.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's early October as well, but all over it. Should be good.
Cool. So the first of our feature reviews, I assume we're going to do War for Planet of the Apes first, but we are. Okay. This is it. This is the kind of fucking production value you get for your $3 a month.
Yay!
War for the Planet of the Apes, directed by Matt Reeves, written by Matt Reeves and Matt Bombach. What a fucking great name that is, Matt Bombach. Sees Andy Serkis return to the role of Caesar. Woody Harrelson's also there. Steve Zahn joins the fucking black suit with little fucking white dots on it, but creates magic through that. It's set 15 years after the first movie, I believe. It says at the beginning of the movie, doesn't it? Yeah. Where essentially that we've had this simian flu has come through and has wiped out a large population of the humans on the planet, and the apes and the humans are very much within. They're very much entrenched within this war that Cobra started. Caesar is at pains to state that he didn't start this war and he doesn't want it. He just wants apes to be left to do their things and essentially wants them to be left in the forest. If they can have the forest, that's it. That's how we coexist with them. Woody Harrelson plays Colonel. The Colonel, I think he's just called. I don't think he's ever called anything else, is he? Who is a bit of a Colonel Kurtz kind of character, isn't he? Who is leading a battalion of soldiers out to rid the planet of these apes. We're going to say planet and apes a lot during this, I think. And yeah, we'll get more into plot as we go along from there. But remember, guys, we are all spoilers all the time, and there is spoilers within this. Ian, this is massively fucking in your wheelhouse. So how much did you enjoy War for the Planet of the Apes?
Yeah, so massively in my wheelhouse, yes, even though I've been saying for weeks now that I was worried about the film, given the fact that the trailers were painting it as some fucking depressing, dank, grim, oh fucking hell, they're going to be trudging through snow for 2 hours thing. And no, it's a rip-roaring ride of revenge, and then keeling over at the end.
Yeah, the weird thing is, it is exactly what you just said, but the absolute best version of what you just said.
Yeah, I mean, that's... Yeah, it kind of is. I think the marketing for the film just struck a weird, this is not going to be a good time vibe, which I really, really took against. But this film is fucking brilliant. I think it's one of the most astounding visual effects pieces you will ever see.
There's a moment in very early in the movie where I think I kind of went, hang on a minute, am I fucking watching this? This is insane. And it's not a battle scene or anything like that. It's a scene where they go under the waterfall into where the apes have kind of made home.
Yeah.
And there's all these children apes kind of like running around, everything running around, and you're looking at it, and you're looking at what essentially is an ape, but you don't ever think about it, but you're looking going, hang on a minute, that's fucking Andy Serkis. This just doesn't make sense. I am so on. This is just an ape walking.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Fucking madness.
And I mean, the thing is, it's like they shot the film, like fully shot the film with the actors and stuff like that, and then did the CG after. But it's like they haven't made any compromises for the fact that they're going to have to do CG. So I mean, like there's shots like I in my mind's eye, there's a sequence. I think it might be Talking to Bad Ape where it's like Caesar face on, and then kind of like Bad Ape kind of to the right, like his shoulder, but like kind of out of focus. And it's like you are just watching this conversation between two people, but it's not. It's two CG apes talking to each other, but it may as well be Andy Serkis in the best fucking makeup you've ever seen. Like the Uncanny Valley thing is pretty much non-existent throughout massive chunks of this film. The only times I ever got a bit, this is CG, is when they're like kind of like moving around fast.
Yeah, there's a couple of moments where I did go. It wasn't enough to pull me out of it, but I noticed it, is what I'll say.
Yeah, but I mean, because the thing is, I mean, obviously I watched Rise and Dawn, like, leading up to it, and Rise, in moments, in the start when they're in the jungle, it looks fucking photoreal, it looks like you're watching a documentary, but then there are moments in the film where it still looks incredible, but there are moments of softness there. Dawn looks fantastic. It still holds up 3 years in. This just looks like they are there.
Yeah,
they're there. You know, and it's mental. I can't get that. And the thing is, because of that, it further makes the narrative and emotional beats just work even more than they would, because it's like they're there. It's almost like you'd expect to be able to actually fucking stroke them if you reached your hand into the screen, and not because it's in 3D. I didn't watch it in 3D, but they're so viscerally there. It's astounding, but the story it's telling as well is this fucking heartbreaking look at a leader of people, like, just indulging his worst self and getting and just realizing how fucked he's made everybody else, and the journey that Caesar goes through. It's amazing, and the thing is, just going in, right, Caesar's fucking family are gonna die.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm glad the little one didn't. I needed him to have something. That's the weird thing there, man. Like, I wouldn't have been able to take it if Cornelius died as well.
I get what you mean.
I genuinely wouldn't have been able to handle it. And I was so fucking wrapped up in Caesar's emotional journey in this film. And the thing is, Dawn doesn't work for me as much. And I think, to be honest, I think I know why, and it's because of Jason Clarke, Kerry Russell, and Cody Smith-McPhee. But it's Caesar. It's Caesar and Maurice and Bad Ape and Rocket and just all of them. And by the end, if I cried at films, I properly teared up. And if I was the kind of person who cried at films, I would have been a fucking mess.
It's one thing
beautiful. It's beautiful. Sorry.
It is. Yeah. It is one. I think the thing that I really, really liked about it was the complete lack of humans in it. There's virtually, we spend virtually no time with the humans. I don't think we spent any time, with the exception of the opening minute, with humans where there isn't apes there.
I could see that, yeah. At least, I mean, like, they're in cages around when they're, like, doing the morning fucking, when Harrelson's, like, shaving his fucking head and stuff like that. Like, they're still there. But, yeah, no, absolutely, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, there's no bit where you get Harrelson talking to his troops in a room completely separated from the apes. This is very much their movie, and I think but yeah, you're right. It's a revenge movie. It gets in and steps out its stall very, very quickly. It's 2.5 hours long. I don't think it ever feels like it's outstaying its welcome, or there's a bit that you could maybe do without that bit. It's a very it earns it's 2 hours 20 minutes. Part of the 2 hours 20 minutes, I think a large part of it is that's including credits. I think there's a good sort of 15 minutes of credits. It's almost like that thing where one of the Lord of the Rings had like 17 minutes of credits or something, and something like that. It's a little bit like that, but then again, you've got a lot of people working behind the scenes in this movie. But also as well, even the whole battle that you're expecting between Caesar and the Colonel, it never kind of happens. The battle itself isn't for that. It isn't for humanity or anything like that. It is literally Caesar almost battling himself, in the sense of he's kind of become the thing that he was against, and he's very well aware of it. But it's almost him accepting that he's taken the worst fucking part of humanity to push him to these extremes. He knows he's wrong. It's why he wanted to do it on his own. Going out there chasing down Woody Harrelson in that vengeful way, and he knows that it in all likelihood it's going to kill him. But it takes from there, and I think it's a very bleak movie. It's a very, very bleak movie while you're watching it. It's insane that it's only a 12, but some of the actual the level of violence that is in this movie is quite something. But then you've got there were a few moments where I actually laughed. There was one moment where I properly laughed out loud, and there was a couple of chuckle moments within it as well. And like you were saying there, it very much is they've let the actors be the actors within it. You know, Steve Zahn's character is a Steve Zahn character.
Yeah.
It's not just Steve Zahn's voice. It's got the mannerisms and things from that, you know, and that's key very early on, where you've got the first interaction with Bad Ape, and he runs off, and off screen he falls over.
Yeah.
And goes, "I'm all right." That's a Steve Zahn thing. That you can imagine Steve Zahn if this was just two people. That's what he'd do. And then you've got once you realise that he's an ape that's never learned how to become an ape. And so he acts completely different to the rest of them. He's not a wild ape. And then the bit where they're going off, then he's going to go and show them where it is, and then he comes out wearing a fucking gilet and a hat and a pair of boots.
Yeah, man.
And it's like he's seen, you know, in the fucking most basic sense of monkey see, monkey do. He's seen that as what you do when you go out. You put your coat on and you put your boots on.
Yeah, but he's fucking warmer than the others, though, isn't he?
He is, yeah. But it's that. But he's also got that level of humanity. The first thing he fucking does is he takes his coat off and points at the little girl and goes, "She's cold. She can't talk to you. She's cold. Give her my coat." There's that level of that, and you're drawn into Caesar's anger, but also in the back of it, you're drawn into what Maurice is saying and saying, "Do you know what? I want you to get to this fucking place as well." And you are on their side over the Woody Harrelsons. It's pitching you these and saying, "Look, these are the good guys."
Yeah.
There you go. Have these, you know, look at fucking what humanity's doing, and kind of going, but you know, if this happens, that is what would happen.
Yeah, I mean, that's it, isn't it? And the fact that there is a complete absence of good humans. I mean, the one good one, Nova, she's basically an ape by the end of the film, in all but like the type of mammal she actually is. And I mean, that's the thing. I mean, like the guy who he lets go at the start, who Caesar lets go, you like, there's kind of like hintings that maybe he's going to go against the Colonel at some point, and he doesn't, you know, and he's the one who kind of strikes the killer blow for Caesar. You know, people in this film are fucking horrible.
Exactly.
They've been driven to it, but they are horrible.
Yeah, but you've even got the bit where you've got humans fighting humans as well, you know, and then they turn around and the first thing they do is they see Caesar. They don't know it's Caesar, they just see an ape.
Yeah.
And straight away they're going to kill it. And, you know, Woody Harrelson's character actually sets that out and says, you know, "I know what you're thinking, but don't. The only thing they're more afraid of than me is you."
Yeah, I mean, and I mean, the thing is, I mean, the horrible thing is that, you know, Harrelson's character, in terms of humanity's position, is right.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, and it's just the fact that you spend so much time with Caesar that you are sympathetic towards Caesar. I mean, like, if the film was from Harrelson's point of view, maybe it would be that you'd be sympathetic towards Harrelson and company. You know, it's war. War is completely senseless, and I don't know. I mean, it seems to. I think it presents that well, and the improvement over Dawn as well. I mean, with the human stuff, is the fact that Harrelson is a lot more engaging on screen than Jason Clarke is. Jason Clarke is a good actor.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a particularly fantastic leading man.
No, Jason Clarke's a character actor. He's a very good character actor.
And again, he was having a bit of a moment around that time. You know, he rocked up in The Great Gatsby and Zero Dark 30, and you know, so and that's the thing. And like, this was kind of a lead role, and it's like, when he's on screen and when his family are on screen, it's a bit like, I'd rather just see Caesar and or Koba. You know, I'd rather, or Maurice. I'd rather just, I mean, the best section of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is that opening 20 minutes or so where there are no humans on screen.
Yeah, I think that is kind of is where Matt Reeves has gone. Do you know what? If this is going to be the last movie that we're doing, maybe not the last movie of the franchise, but it definitely feels like it feels like the end of this portion. This feels like a trilogy, and then there'll be another one. If there is another one.
Yeah, I mean, like, if Reeves comes back at all, it would be in like a producer capacity, I think, at this point.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that what they've kind of done there is gone, right, we've had two movies. The best bits of the last movie were the 8 bits. We do you know what? We're telling the story from their point of view.
Yeah,
that's the whole point of this exercise. We're showing it from their point of view. We're not showing you humanity's eye. We're showing you the ape's eye.
Because that's the thing. I mean, it is ripe for further stories. Because I mean, they've kind of said going in that they don't ever want to actually remake Planet of the Apes. They just want to tell stories that leads up to it. And there's still an awful lot of road to be run there. And the fact that Bad Ape shows that there are other apes out there. You've still got the whole story of, well, how do apes as a planet kind of decide how to be apes as a planet?
Yeah, where does ape politics come into it?
Yeah, exactly. And so you could have a really fascinating, like, live action in the way that the Jungle Book is live action film, that is just all apes all the time. And I really fucking hope they do that. The thing is that the box office performance has been decent.
Yeah.
But it's not been amazing. And I wonder whether they might just let it lie for a bit now, and then maybe just do a remake of Planet of the Apes in like 5 years.
Yeah, you could see that. I think this is the year where I think maybe everybody last year was going, oh, what a year 2017 is going to be, and then this year everyone's kind of going, are we getting a bit bored of this now? Maybe there's too many, I think.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, I mean, like, Spider-Man: Homecoming was a blast and is making money hand over fist, and War for the Planet of the Apes was really good, but like box office, I mean, I'm surprised. I'm kind of pleasantly surprised, even though it's not my favourite film of the summer, but that Wonder Woman is like the film of the summer, and good on it.
Yeah.
And that's fantastic. But there's just been a bunch of other things that have just been a bit.
They're just going to happen.
But commercially as well, not just critically, but commercially. And Apes, is not going to be down there, but it's the kind of box office performance where another one is not necessarily automatic.
Yeah, I think they'll test the water. They'll wait until the full fucking wait until the land once it's all out.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I mean, in the thing I wrote, I mean, I linked to a Deadline article where they were talking about the marketing of the film, maybe positioning it as not a fun time, and that might actually be partially responsible for it. And yeah, I would completely see that. This film, I think, is a far better, more interesting film than the film that was being advertised.
What I will say, though, is quite strange, and I think part of this is, there is an easy answer to this, actually. But I went to see this film at pretty much the same time as I went to see Spider-Man last week. And it was a lot busier for War for Planet of the Apes than it was for Spider-Man.
Okay.
Again, strange thing, War for Planet of the Apes was in a smaller screen, and The Beguiled, which I watched straight afterwards, was in one of the big screens, which was weird.
What the fuck, man? Okay, fine.
The Beguiled was in one of the biggest screens in the cinema.
Yeah, but The Beguiled was in one of the smallest screens in my cinema. That doesn't make any sense to me. That's really weird. But yeah, no, I think it's a stunning piece of work. And I'm pleasantly surprised, because I was worried going in. Even Giacchino, like, who is really starting to grate on me with his second score in 2 weeks, has toned down the lost piano.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of him, but I thought it was all right in this.
Like what, the Lost Piano?
The score. I'm not usually a fan of his, to be honest.
The kind of the tribal, like, kind of stuff worked for me. I really like the 20th Century Fox logo as well, by the way. Like, did you notice that? The kind of like the the apesization of the Fox.
Yeah,
theme.
the toned down hue of it all. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I mean, like Dawn for the Planet of the Apes, man. Every single fucking scene of dialogue or just like someone being a bit sad has to have the end of Lost piano music. like there's a fucking scene in Dawn where Kerry Russell's kind of saying bye to Jason Clarke, and then she says, "I'm going to come with you," and like the piano's just going in the background. It's like, just shut the fuck up. Just let them talk. I don't need you to tell me it's a sad moment and it's a bit melancholy.
Yeah, it can be a bit like that.
Just fuck off. And the thing is, the Spider-Man Homecoming score is quite fun and bouncy, and this, like, the Apes music is great, and it does seem like there's less of the chords every 5 seconds or so telling you it's sad. So there you go. Even the score was better.
Yeah.
And I think Rise, for me, is a 5-star film. I like it gets in, it gets out, it gets the job done in like an hour 45. The bridge battle scene at the end of that film, I actually think is better than any action scene in War. If you do have a complaint for War, I suppose it would be that there's not an awful lot of war.
There's not an awful lot of battles, no. But I quite liked that.
I like that as well, but the film from 6 years ago has a better action scene than the film from 2017.
Yeah, but I have a feeling that if this film had been made 2 years ago, there'd have been a lot more war in it.
Yeah, probably. And I like that it is so understated. I mean, fuck, man, this will be in my top 10 at the end of the year. I'd be stunned if it wasn't top 5, to be honest. So I'm all over it and already counting the days to the 4K.
Which it'll look fucking brilliant.
Jesus fucking Christ. But yeah, it's Rise is a 5-star film. It's almost like this is a 5.5-star film for me. I wouldn't change either of them, but this is a more rounded, complete experience. Even though I really like the relationship between Franco and Caesar in the first one, it's great.
Yeah. What did you think of the when the film started? I was watching it, and because it comes up, the film actually quite nicely explains what essentially happened in Rise, what's happened in Dawn, and what happened here. I like the way that's presented. It was really fucking nice, and then the way it shifts from explaining essentially what is going to happen in War to then brings up the title of the movie. I was like, it's the little things, but that's fucking cool.
I like my big titles. I like my small titles.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah. It's like Logan, like the title card for Logan at the beginning being quite small, and then at the end it's quite large. I like that as well. I like my big titles. I like my small titles. I don't like my medium titles.
No. So where are you lying with it? I'm guessing you're definitely not shit.
It's fucking awful. Worst probably. No, definitely not shit. A 5-star fucking banger.
I'm definitely not shit. I was a little bit worried about it, that it might go a little bit too bombastic, and it doesn't. It's the opposite. It's a very bleak movie, but in a incredibly watchable way. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not misery porn or anything. It's just,
it's really, really not actually. No, it's just, it really makes you feel for the people in it.
He led them to their promised land and shit. He got to tell Cornelius, "I love you," you know, like when he rescued him from the cage and whatnot, and you know, like fucking brilliant. Yeah. Like, R.I.P. Caesar.
Yeah. Our audience poll, definitely not shit, 73%.
Good.
Touching cloth, 9%. And shit, 18%.
How many votes we have?
11 on that.
Right, okay, so it's more than Dan Orty fucking with us then.
Yeah, it's more than I fucking with us.
Right, okay.
um, cool. Go on then. What have you been watching?
Mate, fucking... Where the shit do we start, though? That's the... Right.
I'm a little bit like that because I've got quite a few.
Yeah, okay. Maybe...
I'm going to speed round some of them though.
Yeah, I'm going to totally fucking speed round. Alright, let's do this. Right, let me just bring them up. Oh, fuck's sake. Diary, not films. I do like you Letterboxd app, but you're not the most intuitive thing in the world.
It's not, is it?
Right, so I mean, I watched Captain America Civil War, but, you know, it's Captain America Civil War. It's fucking brilliant. I love that film. Tony Erdmann.
Oh, yeah, you watched this, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah, 2 hour, 40-minute long German comedy nominated for Best Foreign Language Film. It's on Amazon Prime. It's good. It is too long. It just factually is too long. But it's
a mini series.
Yeah. It's got what could accurately be described, as it was on the Film Junk podcast, as a comedic jump scare, which is quite an interesting thing. But there is a moment where someone turns around where I kind of shit myself. But it's funny. It's very cringy. I literally had to stop watching at one point because it was so cringy. The Hollywood remake will not be as good, and I think will probably miss the point. But I'm kind of interested to see Jack Nicholson take on that particular character.
Is that who's playing it?
Sorry?
Is that who's cast?
Yeah, well, Nicholson and Kristen Wiig. Lena Dunham's co-writing it. So we'll see how that turns out.
It's either going to be quite entertaining or just like brain-itchingly annoying.
Yeah, definitely. But no, it's worth a go. It is a commitment. Don't get me wrong, but it's worth a go. Rewatched Cabin in the Woods, which is fucking fantastic. That film is just really, really fun. I really like it. So yeah.
Bex and Isabel watch it loads.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the day that Lots watches it, because I would happily sit there and watch it quite a few times with her. She's probably a good 9 or 10 years off of that, but it'll be here in no time at all.
Yeah, it will, mate.
Yeah. I watched the original Peter Pan, which is horrifically of its time. My word, that film.
Well, yeah.
Fucking hell. It's been a number of years since I watched that film, and I watched it with Lottie, and that it's on Disney Life, and it kind of feels like it should come up with a warning at the start saying this was made in 1953 when attitudes were different.
What in particular?
The Red Man stuff and the fucking song about the Red Man is quite something. Its opinion about women's place is interesting as well.
Yes.
David Lowery is doing the remake.
Yes, of course, yeah.
And I'm really, really up for that. And it's interesting because I was listening to an interview with him when he was talking about a ghost story, but mentioned this as well. Didn't mention the original Disney one at all, but he was like, the PJ Hogan version of Peter Pan with Jason Isaacs as Captain Hook, he was like, that's a really fucking good film, and I need to try and find a reason to make another version of Peter Pan that is better than that. I now want to watch the PJ Hogan Peter Pan. So, Z for Zachariah, which is on Netflix.
Oh, yeah, what did you think of that? Because I watched it a few months ago.
Yeah, I liked it less as it went along.
Yeah, I'm the same as that.
Yeah, Chris Pine is good. The who is she going to fuck next ness or soap opera-ness of the last half hour or so, I could have really have done without.
Yeah.
So yeah, 3 stars. It's watchable, but I'm glad it's not longer than it was.
It's almost like one of those ones where I'd be saying to somebody, it's worth watching, but don't bother watching it.
I could see that. Okay, I've only really got a few left, actually. because I've got so the Planet of the Apes films I've already talked about. I watched The Virgin Suicides and Lost in Translation, but maybe we'll touch on those later. Rewatched Logan.
Did you watch it in Logan Noir?
No, because Noel, literally I was about to stick it on when Noel WhatsApped me. I think he WhatsApped the ABFM thing, but I don't know.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, but said, maybe don't bother, just watch the full colour version. So I did, in glorious 4K, lovely 4K DI, so it looks fantastic. The thing is with Logan, I know exactly the bits I would cut out.
Yeah.
And I think if that film was 2 hours, 2 hours 5, as opposed to 2 hours 20, I think I'd be giving that thing 5 stars. As it is, I can't. It is too long.
I'm looking forward to my rewatch. I did actually see there was a trailer for the Logan Noir on before Rise.
Really?
Not Rise. War of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
And I did think, fuck, that looks nice.
To be honest, I think the next time I watch Logan, which I wouldn't be surprised if I watch it again before the end of the year, for end of year stuff.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if I watched the black and white version then.
Yeah, but it's got a little bit of a almost like a sandy hue in there as well, which is quite interesting.
Okay.
In that it's not. I can see why he's not just called it a black and white version of it.
Okay.
Because there does appear to be a little bit of. I might have been imagining it or anything like that, but there did appear to be like a little bit of a hue of sort of sandy colour within it that was there.
It's interesting. Okay, all right. You have my interest.
I'll watch it in next week or so and tell you what you think. What I think.
Okay, please do. Also, tell me after what. The section where they stay with that family.
Yes.
Any of the stuff about the dispute they have with the local law enforcement and the water being shut off and all that stuff. Tell me after what that adds to anything.
I don't think it adds to something, but it draws their attention to. It draws attention to Logan being there. I think so. That's what I remember from it earlier. But then again, you've watched it more recently than me, so
okay.
You might have a better influence.
Okay, come back to me next week then. Okay.
Yeah, I will be. I'll have a look out and see if it adds anything. But yeah, I was a little bit at the time going, it's a cool scene, but I'm not sure it needs to be there.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, and I watched Cars 3.
Oh yeah. Confession time, not seen either of the first two Cars movies.
And you don't need to.
I don't need to. That's why I've not watched them.
You never need to watch any of the Cars films, I can now confirm. So, yeah, took Lottie to see Cars 3. She was super up for it. And she was fucking... At one point, she was literally finding it more entertaining. There was nobody else in our row, I just want to say this, to crawl under the seats in our row and see what she could find, which was rank.
Yeah, but it fucking was.
After the third thing that she found, I was like, right, do you want to go? And she was like, no. And I was like, okay, stop doing that. Let's just sit here and watch the film. And she was kind of bored, to be honest. And I'm not surprised, because Cars, kids fucking love the merchandise and stuff like that, and they love Mater and all that shite. I don't think kids particularly love stories about knowing when the time has come to retire and let the new generation come up instead, and you back up the new generation. It's a film about retirement.
That makes no sense for kids then.
And it's for kids. That's the thing. If it was like an original Pixar where it's like, oh, okay, look, it's obviously for adults but has some kiddie stuff, like Up, for instance, If it was doing that, fair enough. But it's Cars 3. It's like I don't know. I mean, To be fair, the like spoiler alert for Cars 3. The message at the end that girls can perform in a boy's world was something that Lottie was actually like. That she actually said to me at one point, "That girl's doing really well, isn't she?" And I was like, "Yes, she is." And that's great. That's she genuinely said that girl car. She said to me, but that's great. And I love that she took that away from it. So there's that, but it's also Owen Wilson like admitting that he's now too old to compete with these other cars, and instead he's going to be the crew chief. And it's like, well, okay, fine, all right, whatever. It's it's the best one of the Cars films. It's a 3 out of 5. I didn't hate my time watching it. I genuinely didn't. I am stunned that they actually released it in this form.
Let's be honest, the fucking Pixar fucking sheen has gone.
It has, yeah, but we'll see what Coco does.
Makes fucking shitloads of money with merchandising and produces a sequel in 3 years' time.
Even though, also, Coco is going to have a 25-minute Frozen short before Coco even starts.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
25 minutes?
25-minute Frozen thing that was advertised before the start of Cars 3 as well. Fucking Olaf's Frozen Adventure, I think it's called.
Coco. How fucking long is Coco going to be then?
Yeah, well, I'm assuming Coco is like an hour and a half and done.
That seems like they're not very fucking confident in Coco.
Yeah, that straight up seems like they're not very confident in Coco.
That looks like they've gone, oh shit, are we releasing a film about Mexicans when people hate Mexicans?
Shit, are we releasing a film about the Day of the Dead to 3-year-olds?
Yeah, there is a little bit like. By the way, I don't hate Mexicans.
No, and I don't hate 3-year-olds.
In the current climate in America.
Yeah.
Whereas NASCAR, fucking cars going fucking fast, is a little bit easier to sell to certain Americans.
Indeed.
A 25-minute fucking hell.
Yeah, it's like 20-25 minutes. It's at least 20 minutes. I know that.
So that's nearly an hour before you actually get to watch the fucking movie you're going to watch.
That's in trailers, yeah. You may as well just rock. If it's a 4 o'clock start, you may as well rock up at 5.
Yeah, you may as well. And am I right in thinking that Frozen 2 isn't coming out until 2019, 2020? Is that right?
Yeah. They'll keep that train going.
So that'll be coming out nearly 7 years after the fucking first one. That's how long it took them to make 3 fucking Planet of the Apes movies.
Actually, I'm gonna look this up though, because thinking about it, Coco, I think, doesn't come out over here until January, and Olaf's Frozen Adventure is a Christmas themed thing. Maybe okay.
Is it been brought forward, Coco? November now.
It will be released in 3D theaters along with Disney Pixar's Coco on November 22nd, 2017.
Yeah.
Okay, so is that everywhere for Coco then? Because I read the other day that Coco's not coming out over here until January. And if that's the case, I'm assuming...
Yeah, UK cinemas, United States, Canada, November the 22nd, 2017. UK cinemas, January the 19th.
Yeah, they must be attaching this to some other Disney film that comes out before Christmas in the UK. It's all about, like, finding a Christmas tradition or something. So it would be mental if that was in January in the UK.
Yeah, what? The only other Disney thing that's out then is Star Wars. I can't see him putting it in front of Star Wars.
Is there not a Disney Animation Studios film coming out before Christmas then?
I think so.
It kind of feels like they're missing a trick there. But then again, I mean, like if they got Coco in the US, then maybe they don't.
That's it, but maybe they're just going, do you know what?
People will watch it anyway.
Yeah, people will watch. Maybe they're not. That just seems like a fucking dumping ground. It seems like they've made this movie and gone a little bit like they've gone. This is another good dinosaur for us.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I'm trying to. All right, I'll get back to you. But last thing from me is Dying of the Light.
Oh, yes.
which is on Netflix.
Which is on Netflix.
So, it was taken away from Paul Schrader, and I know Schrader, Cage, and Yelchin kicked up a fuss at the time. I think it might be a better film for the fact that it got taken away from Schrader, because they've based it's kind of like this really standard revenge thriller about Nicolas Cage trying to... He's a CIA guy who's kind of over the hill, and he's trying to capture this war criminal who tortured him, but is believed dead. But his mind is going. He's got a degenerative brain disease, and he kind of teams up with Anton Yelchin, who's this younger CIA guy, to try and hunt the guy down. It feels like if it was Schrader's film, it would be 2 hours long and full of like Cage talking about how his mind is going, and how Western civilization is going to shit, and it's going to be tied into his degenerative brain disease. With this, it's like 90 minutes, and it's basically Cage forgetting shit while on the hunt for this guy. And I'll be honest, I didn't hate it.
No, I didn't hate it at all. What's weird is this was the movie that that Nicholas Winding Refn left to go make Drive.
Yes.
Which is a little bit fucking... The thing is, there's a good story there, and it's not a bad film, and especially in the current age of Cage, it's not bad.
Yeah.
You could certainly watch a lot worse.
Yeah, exactly. No, and I thought Yelchin was good value as well, actually. No, I mean, like 3 out of 5. I'm not gonna like go to the mat for it or anything, but I enjoyed my time with it.
Yeah, I was the same. I watched it on a train, I think.
Nice.
I watched the full thing in one sitting on a train. After I think I was coming back from my current company's head office, and I'd watched on the way there. I'd watched Snake Eyes, and I watched this on the way back.
Nice. And I suppose I'll just very briefly mention Billy Lynn's long halftime walk in 4K 60 frames per second is fucking trippy.
It did look trippy, that little bit of what that you said, as everything seems to be moving so fucking quick.
Like, it's really weird, but there's like a kind of a weird immediacy to it, which is... I'd be up for seeing more in 60 frames per second at home, in all honesty. So, not all the time, but... And to be fair, the way that Billy Lynn's box office performance went and the reaction to the 60 frames per second, I have a feeling this will be the only 60 frame per second 4K disc I ever own. But it's a bit of a trip watching it, to be honest. And you don't have the 4K. You don't have the option of watching it in 24 frames per second. If you want to do that, you'd have to watch the Blu-ray that's in there as well. And then it's kind of like, what's the point? But seriously, the picture quality is fucking stunning.
Yeah,
it's something else. But yeah, anyway, moving on. But up to you.
Cool, right. I'll speed round it. We watched Contagion.
Nice.
Contagion's a really good movie. I think it's kind of underappreciated. It kind of feels a little bit like a lot of Soderbergh movies tend to feel like. They feel like a movie that people forget about very quickly. There's a lot of sort of hubris and razzmatazz about them when they first come out, and everyone goes how amazing it is, and then 6 months later everyone just kind of forgets that they exist. But it's got, it's a hell of a cast, and I like the fact that it's not telling the story that you think it's going to tell. It's not telling the story about a medical outbreak. It's telling a story about how medical outbreaks are kind of worked, how the things behind the scenes happen, and how they're found out about, and how they're dealt with, and how all the bureaucracy and red tape is cut through to work out what's going on. And it is almost like when it gets to the point where you go, right, this movie's about to get really fucking interesting, it ends. And then you realise, but actually it already was really fucking interesting.
Yep.
But you quite easily, that movie finishes and you go, I could have watched another hour of that, no fucking problem.
For sure, bud. For sure.
Or I could have watched a fucking sequel, but it's never going to happen. But really, really good time.
Yeah, absolutely.
What else have I got? I'm going to try and do them in a sequence because I watched a lot of a certain actor's movies, so I'm going to cover all those in one. We watched Definitely Maybe. We were looking for something to watch a couple of Sundays ago, just flicking through Sky, and I'd lost all fucking patience with it. And then landed on Definitely Maybe, the Ryan Reynolds movie, and went, do we want to watch this? Totally expecting both Isabel and Bex to go, no. And they went, oh, yeah, all right. It's like, cool, right. Fine. We're rewatching Definitely Maybe.
Nice.
Never thought I'd say that. It's fun. It's Ryan Reynolds. Back when only people like me gave a shit about Ryan Reynolds. Have you seen this?
Definitely Maybe. I can't. Yeah, but I would not be able to tell you a fucking thing about it. But
it's an interesting idea. The idea is Ryan Reynolds is split up from his wife and the mother of his child, played by Abigail Breslin, and he's picking. It's his turn to have her for the weekend essentially, or the few days midweek, something like that. But it's his turn to have her essentially, and he goes to pick her up from school, and all the parents are all in uproar because they had a sex ed class, and then you get Abigail Breslin, the daughter character, kind of asks him essentially, the question of how did you and my mom get together? And then what we essentially get is him telling the story of how he met his mother in like under 2 hours, not 10 fucking series. And it's him talking about the fact that he's only ever actually sort of loved 3 women and only ever had 3 kind of relationships in his life, and then he tells the story about these relationships and these people, and his daughter's trying to guess which one is her mum, which kind of makes you go, well, I'm sure they'll have told some stories about them, so that kind of gives it away, but you kind of get on board with that, and then it's about him kind of discovering what he did wrong in the relationships, which one he actually cared about, etc., and things like that. So it was a good time rewatching. It's maybe a little bit too long, and it can't work out whether it wants to be a romance, drama, or a comedy. It can't quite work out whether it wants to be a romantic drama or a romantic comedy, and it fails a little bit on a few of them. And Kevin Kline turns up and he's very good, but you get the idea that he'd have been better if he was in it either more or less.
Sure. One
or the other. He's just in it just the wrong amount. And yeah. So there's that. So, but I enjoyed rewatching that. I weirdly, because the dog's been watching Disney Channel, I've kind of caught a few Disney movies.
Fuck's sake.
Movies. So
because the dog has been watching the Disney Channel.
Not Disney Channel.
I've watched
Disney
a few Disney Channel movies.
No, not Disney Channel movies. Disney movies. So not like fucking.
Because the dog's been watching the fucking.
I know.
That's. All
yeah,
right.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm aware.
I can't wait for Noel to hear that. I can't Right. Everybody who listens to this just needs to tweet Mark with some sort of reaction to that sentence.
And do you know what? I will take all of it. Yeah.
Fuck me.
But it plays into what you were saying. Because I started watching Lady and the Tramp with the dog.
Mate, my fucking gerbil absolutely loves Nick Jr. I tell you what, can't get enough.
So yeah, watch Lady and the Tramp, and that's a fucking horrible movie. It's a horrible movie. It's so fucking racist. It's untrue. Yeah. I'm watching the fucking Siamese cat bit going, really?
Yeah.
Really? Fucking hell. Sneaky Chinese. Really? Is that where we were at in 1955 America? Oh, yeah, we probably were actually at that. But they're still fucking showing it.
It's fucking...
I didn't have to enter my PIN. I didn't have to enter my Sky PIN to be able to watch that. Just anyone can watch it. This is Disney fucking Movies channel. Yeah, don't watch Lady and the Tramp. It's fucking horrible.
But it's in CinemaScope, though. I fucking love that Disney... I fucking love that
Disney... It's on the poster as well.
Sorry?
It's on the poster as well, presented in CinemaScope.
Oh, mate, like, Disney... They're fucking chunky CinemaScope shit they did back in the day. Sleeping
Dumbo.
Beauty, right? Sleeping Beauty kind of seems like it's in that fucking Hateful Eight fucking aspect ratio. It's mental.
What I will say is I saw a still from the Disney Dumbo thing, like a backstage still, and it was just of Tim Burton stood at the back of a train cart, and the train cart just said Casey Jr. and I thought, fuck, I want to watch that movie now. I really fucking want to watch that movie. I cannot believe that I am now excited for a fucking Dumbo live action remake, and I can't believe that I'm excited for Dumbo live action remake that's directed by fucking Tim Burton. But I am. And also, I rewatched Aladdin. Weirdly, I watched Aladdin at the cinema when it came out, and it came out, and I watched it. I remember going to see it like fucking. It came out on my birthday, I think. And I watched it 3 days running at the cinema because I liked it that much. I was like 10. But yeah, controversial. I'm going to get on this now. Controversial feelings on Aladdin. Aladdin is a fucking great movie and a solid, I think, fucking 5 out of 5 movie. Up until Aladdin makes his first wish. And then from then, it just goes off a fucking cliff for me.
I can't remember it enough to bucket.
Honestly, I was fucking loving it, thinking this is fucking brilliant. And then he makes his first fucking wish, and it just goes off a fucking cliff. I was like, this is shit. I am really, really not liking this. It was 5-star, and then it went to 2-star for me.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it just goes off, and I was like, this is just boring shit. And I was fucking loving it. But yeah, that was my 2 Disney movies that I watched. And I think the rest of all the movies I had that I watched. I watched Sound City, a documentary that for some reason I hadn't fucking watched.
Oh, the Dave Grohl one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got to picking Bex up really early. And so I thought, right, I'm here like a good 40 minutes early. I can get in like a good half a movie. So I pulled out my iPad and was flicking through, and I thought, I can't find anything. And then it came up on Amazon Prime, and I flicked through recently added bits. Sound City was on there. I thought, why the fuck haven't I watched that yet? Bang, hit it on, and was like, and then when Bex came out of work, I thought, shit, no, go back in for 40 minutes. Because fuck. And yeah, it's fucking brilliant.
I thought it was really, really good until the last like 20 minutes or so, where it's basically, right, now we're going to put this song together.
It was a little bit like, but I kind of like that as well. Like I kind of like that in the sense that it was showing you like how, you know, the difference in how music's made from different people. And I think a lot of it was helped by the fact that it literally was. It was a lot of sort of Dave Grohl's kind of mates that he managed to get involved in it. So, you know, of all the people that kind of made albums at Sound City, the only ones that were outside of, you know, his mates were Fleetwood Mac, Tom Petty, and Rick Springfield. Which, as soon as Rick Springfield started playing, I started thinking, hang on a minute, Rick Springfield, you can see there's a massive influence in some of the Foo Fighters stuff in Rick Springfield's music, which I never twigged on, ever, until I watched this and went, that kind of makes sense that Dave Grohl and what's his name would be big Rick Springfield fans.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, I'm glad that you enjoyed it that much. Okay.
I really liked it, and you had I can't remember his name, drummer from Audio Slave against Rage Against the Machine, and I can never remember his fucking name. Brad Wink. He said a very interesting thing about music, which I think you can actually translate to movies. In that he was saying that it took him until like his mid to late 20s to realise that what's really fucking cool is not just listening to the music that you like, but going back and listening to the music that you like, listening to the people that influenced them, and then listening to people that influenced them, and then going back, and it gives you all of this fucking great fucking music, because you'll listen to a band that you really fucking like, and you'll go, oh, I wonder who actually they fucking listened to, and then I wonder if they listened to, and I wonder if they fucking listened to, and it opened up your eyes to that, and it kind of made me go, do you know what? That's the way that we used to approach movies, and I think that that's kind of been lost a little bit, and I don't think I do that enough, in the sense that, you know, I fell in love very early on with Scorsese movies, and have I watched enough, you know, French fucking New Wave, an Italian noir cinema that influenced Scorsese? Probably not. I've watched a bit, but am I delved fucking deep enough into it? Probably not. And it kind of made me go, do you know what? I need to make a bit more of a conscious effort to look for that shit, and to look at the filmmakers that I love and go, right, what the fuck do they love? Not just sort of go back and watch the choice movies that I want to watch and stuff like that. So that was pretty fucking cool that came from that. But it was a thoroughly enjoyable doc, actually. I really dug that. Rewatched Inferno.
Which one?
Inferno, the
Ron
Dan
Howard?
Brown. Yeah, Ron Howard movie.
Good, okay. Interesting. You're the only person on planet Earth who's done that. How was that for you?
I enjoyed it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's fun. It's throwaway. It's bullshitty. But I enjoyed spending time with Tom Hanks and Felicity Jones. You know, Tom Hanks, the great screen presence to spend time with, which I'm going to go over in a minute. And Felicity Jones is adorable. So there you go. And she's a bit unhinged in this. So adorable and unhinged are fucking, they're like catnip for me. So yeah,
that's a good point, actually. Fuck yeah, that is in your zone, isn't it?
It is, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. So I also rewatched Dragnet.
Oh, nice.
Which is fucking great. It's such a... Dan Aykroyd is doing some interesting shit in Dragnet. It's all I can say. I'm not going to talk too much about it because there's not that much going on with Dragnet. But Tom Hanks is essentially just kind of being Tom Hanks in the background. But Dan Aykroyd is doing some interesting shit in that movie. Yeah.
That's funny.
Also rewatched Sleeps in Seattle.
Okay.
That movie, fuck, if that movie was released now, there would be riots. Is what I would say. There would be fucking riots if that movie was released now. It's a fun movie, is Sleepless in Seattle. It's to be very much of its time. Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan are both great in it, but yeah, fuck, man. I'm glad that movie was released when it was, and it can be enjoyed. But it is something I think if you brought up in certain company now, and they went, oh yeah, I really enjoyed that, you go, yeah, fucking rewatch it again. Just rewatch it and see if you enjoy it again.
So, did you watch Joe versus the Volcano next?
I did watch Joe versus the Volcano.
Yeah.
Joe versus the Volcano.
That wasn't rehearsed, guys, by the way.
No. Joe versus the Volcano is fucking brilliant.
Nice.
You've seen Joe versus the Volcano, haven't you?
Like years ago, yeah.
Rewatch it. Honestly, fucking rewatch it. Because I remember kind of enjoying it, but it had been a bit throwaway. It's not. It's fucking brilliant. Yeah, Meg Ryan playing 3 different characters, all of which are adorable in their own unique ways. Tom Hanks, yeah, as Joe Banks in this almost weird kind of Gilliam fucking Kafka, but then morphs into fucking some weird rom-com. It's bizarre and brilliant in so many fucking ways. Yeah, in buying cases, and the cases just keep coming back to end up saving his life. It's such a weird fucking movie. It's so weird. Yeah, but honestly, I would rewatch it if I were you, because it's quite brilliant.
Okay. All right.
I was quite taken by my rewatch of Joe versus the Volcano.
Good stuff. Okay, let's guess. Did you watch any other Tom Hanks?
I did, yeah, two
Okay.
more.
Oh, fuck, I need to guess. The
One's less
Burbs.
obvious. No, it wasn't the Burbs.
Fuck.
And I haven't watched Bonfire of the Vanities yet.
Okay.
One's an obvious one, and one's not as obvious.
What genres are we talking, bud?
Outright comedy and dramatic comedy.
Splash.
Nope.
Fuck. I'm going to have one more go.
Got two guesses left.
Three of them. It feels like pointless, this. This is interesting. Dramatic comedy. Charlie Wilson's War.
No, both old Hot Hanks.
Oh, fuck's sake. Right. Okay. Turner and Hooch.
Nope, there was
Fuck's sake. Right.
Forrest Gump,
Yeah.
which I'll talk about now. I rewatched Forrest Gump about a year or so ago, and a couple of years ago actually. And I talked myself out of Forrest Gump into saying that it was a little bit schmaltzy and not really that great and everything like that. And I rewatched it a couple of years ago and was like, oh no, it's fucking incredibly black comedy and quite bleak and quite dark in the fact that there's a bit where he's talking about his where his name comes from, and you find out that he's talking about it and he's explaining it, saying it's from Forrest Benjamin Gump, and he was he formed this club where they used to run about with sheets over their heads, and it's showing you footage of the clan, and he's telling this story to somebody that he's met on a bench at a bus stop who happens to be a black nurse, and it's from that's literally the opening gambit of the movie, and then it just it continues that dark vein throughout. And so I wanted to re-show it to Bex because she was of the opinion that I used to be of it, and then she rewatched it with me and said, actually, yeah, it is a good movie. I'm now at the point where I'm very much where if ever I'm in the vicinity of somebody where they go, oh yeah, but can you believe that Forrest Gump won an Oscar over? And they get to that point, and then I'd be like beating them mercilessly, saying it's a fucking great fucking movie, because it's a fucking great movie. So yeah, I watched that again, still thoroughly enjoy that. But the other one was The Money Pit.
The Money Pit, right. Okay.
Again, have you seen this one?
What, The Money Pit?
Yeah.
Again, a while
ago. It's what I would say there is it was on Sky. I think I watched it on Sky On Demand, I think. If it crops up on Netflix or Prime and you're in the mood for a bit of a silly comedy, it's worth throwing on for like a treadmill movie or a train to work movie.
All about the treadmill and train to work movies, man. Yeah.
Yeah, if it crops up on one of those, it's worth throwing on for that if you're in the mood for a comedy. It's great. Tom Hanks and Shelley Long buy a house that's too good to be fucking true, and then quickly learn that it's just falling apart, and just everything just keeps going fucking wrong. There's a great bit where when they first open the door handle comes off, and then the door comes off, and then he fixes the door, puts the door back in, opens it, and is like, yeah, I'll fucking fix this. Then he closes it, and then the whole fucking front of the of the porch just falls down, and he's just holding the door handle. And then just things keep getting worse and worse and worse for them, and it's only an hour and a half long, but there's enough comedy in there. A great little cameo from Joe Martinet, who turns up and is there for like literally a minute and then leaves, but does great work.
Okay.
So that was it. So yeah, a couple of weeks worth of watching, but a lot of Tom Hanks.
Yeah, no, fair enough, man. Good on you. What inspired that?
Me and Bex occasionally will have like a Sunday off where we've got now to do. So it was the Sunday where we weren't recording until the Wednesday because we were doing Spider-Man and Noel wasn't available on the Sunday. So I knew I wasn't seeing the movies then. There's no football on, so I wasn't podcasting. So we went, right, What do you want to do? Next, do you know what? All I want to do is get some food in and just spend the entire day just sat and have a fucking movie day, and we'll just blast through a few movies. And we go, right, all right, if we're doing that, we need to pick the movies before so we don't spend 3 fucking hours of the day trying to decide what to watch. Because now there is just too much fucking choice to watch stuff. Because we've got Sky, the movies we've got on Blu-ray still, Netflix, Prime. There's just so much. So we'll narrow it down and go, right, theme it. And so we'll go, right, we're either going to watch Keanu Reeves movies, Ashley fucking Judd movies, Tom Hanks movies. There we fucking go. And then it narrows it down and you're literally going, right, that one, that one, that one, that one. And we'll only watch ones that are available on either Prime, Netflix, or Sky. There you go.
Okay, I approve.
And it helps you go, right, that first, that, then that, then that. Boom, done.
Nice. I think we might have to fuck off Peaks again.
I think we might have to, yeah. We'll have a triple bill of Peaks next week then.
Oh, Christ, I'm going to forget the one from the bloody the first week. Jesus. When are we actually recording next? Are we doing Sunday? Oh, actually, Sunday. Actually, no, Sunday's bad for me.
Sunday's bad for me because I literally from Friday morning when Dunkirk fucking comes out, I am on 12-hour shifts until fucking Tuesday.
Okay, all right. So, all right, yeah, triple banger Peaks next week. We're not going to have nearly as much what we've been watching anyway, and it's only going to be one review next week, so we can probably get a swivel on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, cool. Okay, sorry.
Right. The Beguiled, the new film from Sofia Coppola, which stars Colin Farrell, but then more importantly, it stars Nicole Kidman, Kirsten Dunst, Elle Fanning.
I'm going to get a drink, sorry. Just do the synopsis, I'll be right back.
Yeah, Annemarie Rice and Una Lawrence, who I remember from something, but I can't remember what I remember her from, so I'm going to check now while I keep wittering. She was in Southpaw, that was it. Knew I recognised her from something. So The Beguiled is set in Virginia during the American Civil War, a few years in the American Civil War in 1864. If you're in the American Civil War, you might know how many years that is. I don't. And you've got Nicole Kidman plays Miss Farnsworth. She runs a seminary, has a few girls remaining there. One of them, Amy, is out picking mushrooms and stumbles upon Yankee deserter Colin Farrell, who has injured his leg, and brings him back to the seminary, where they take him in and decide that they're going to wait until he's a little bit better, so that he will survive being imprisoned by the Confederates. And then things kind of happen and tensions arise. Ian, thoughts on The Beguiled? And first things first on it, the aspect ratio.
166 to 1, I believe.
Yeah, it is 166 to 1.
Yeah, it's a good aspect ratio, that. Now, the thing is, I think it very much helps in the kind of the claustrophobic nature of the film. You know, it makes everything look like it's within a smaller space than it actually is, which I think, given the nature of the plot, is pretty appropriate. I was a fan of the aspect ratio. I thought the framing looked a little bit wonky, but I think that's down to Cineworld's projection standards not being great, more than anything else. Wonky in terms of like the verticality of it didn't seem perfectly straight to me. It's not often you see the absolute edge of a frame on screen, because if you're doing 185 to 1 or longer, then there's you don't really see the black bars on the left or right at all, so it almost kind of masks that a bit. How did it look for you?
It took me a while to get used to be honest. Part of that could have been because I'd gone straight in from watching something else in the cinema to watching that in the cinema, so I think that could have an effect. So it was at first when it started, I was a little bit like when fucking hell was it? Was it Fox Searchlight? Focus
Features. Yeah.
When the Focus Features thing came up, I thought, fuck, are they fucking showing this in the wrong ratio? I might have to go and fucking kick off. And then when the film started, I was like, no, they're clearly not. They're clearly not. It's in 166.
Can I ask? Sorry, just a slight thing. Do they bother doing anything with the masking in the screen that you watch this with, or do they just have the masking out like wide as possible and then just let the fucking image like fill the borders itself?
The masking was as wide as it could. It was.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. I mean, like you'll see a definite line of black.
Yeah.
And then, like, on the left and the right, and then it kind of cut in. As long as you see that definite line of black, then that aspect ratio is probably right. It's just, like, it's a 166 to 1 within a 185 to 1 frame, because the projector preset will be for 185 to 1. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, no, that was it. So I was a little bit like, straight away I was like, all right, it's a stylistic choice, that's fine, I'm okay with that. Then as the movie got to go on, I thought she used the framing quite well within the movie. It was clearly it was clearly conceived like that and shot like that. It wasn't something that came up halfway through. But yeah, so Karen, go on. What do you think of the actual movie itself?
Oh no, but yeah, no, the film itself. I thought it was interesting. It's not going to be in like my top 10 films of the year, but unless we have a bad end of year. But I enjoyed my time with it. It's more for kind of individual moments than the film as a whole, but I enjoyed those individual moments. I think there are shots in here which are fucking amazing, just in terms of a like art point of view. There's an image of two men on horses disappearing into mist, where it just looks like they're ghosts. And the last shot of the film almost looks like you're looking at an old photo of ghosts in front of a house, as well, which I thought was like that last shot. The way that it's pushing in, but at the like into the gate, but at the same time it doesn't look like it's getting any closer to the girls. Like it's doing a weird push-pull thing with the perspective of the gate to the girls. Like it was really, really clever, I thought, like really well done. And it actually got a vocal reaction out of me at one point. The littlest girl, the one who finds him.
Yeah.
I really liked her character because she doesn't really have any ulterior motives. And all the other ones kind of seem to have something else going on. But that girl is just a nice girl. And when she gave Colin Farrell her tortoise or turtle and he threw it, I actually said out loud, "Oh no, don't do that." And I kind of caught myself just like, why the fuck am I saying that? And it's because that girl is scared and she liked Colin Farrell, and this is a side she hadn't seen of him. Whereas the other girls there's something else going on. I'm intrigued. I want to see. I want to watch this again. I'll say that. But I don't think it's a perfect film. But yeah, go on, bud.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan.
Okay, all right, that's fair enough.
The weird thing is with it is I can see why people would like the Beguiled. I can see why people would get on with the Beguiled.
I can see why people would not get on with it. So,
but for me, it felt messy, quite messy in the sense that not a lot seemed to actually happen. And I think the movie that I was watching it going, right, so which one isn't quite what they seem? Who's going to do what? And it's like that. And then when it kind of went, I was like, all right, is this it? No, something else can happen. There's going to be something. nope, this is it. Okay. Oh, right, it's ended. Brilliant. I was just a little bit like that, and it just, I kind of wanted a little bit more, which I can see why. Like I say, I can see why people would have been put off by more. And I think that there's interesting things happening directorially. I can see what she's going for. It's just it didn't land with me, and I had a bit of a hit or miss thing with Sofia Coppola on a whole, to be honest. In the sense that I enjoy some of her movies, but I don't like others. I don't like her style in some of them. I don't like her period pieces,
Okay.
is what I'd say in that.
It's interesting because this is a film that does feel like a companion piece to The Virgin Suicides.
It does, yeah, and I didn't get on very well with Virgin Suicides. Bex loved it, and Isabel watched it with Becky the other day, and she really liked it. But I didn't. I've never got on with Virgin Suicides.
Yeah, I mean, I like that film. The thing that bothers me about it is that weirdly it's framed by men talking about them, and you know,
Am I right in thinking it's did Giovanni Ribisi narrate that?
Yes, correct.
I thought it was.
I'm not the wokest person in the world, but it feels very, very odd that a film that is so feminine, at the end of it, is talking about how they affected the lives of these guys, and there's a disconnect there. That if that film was made now, holy fuck, would that not be received well? But yeah, the thing is,
that movie would be very different as made now. What with the fact that fucking, can you imagine James Woods getting cast in that movie now?
Oh my god, yeah, right, Jesus Christ.
What a horrible cunt he's become.
Yes, well, yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the thing is with The Beguiled is that it's from a technical perspective that I like it more than what the film is actually doing story-wise. It's the shots that I like, and it's the little moments in Colin Farrell's performance, and the fact that he's not an evil guy, he's just a bloke who...
Yeah, I don't. That's it. I think
not
that,
a nice guy, you know.
But that's it. I don't know whether they quite go. You know, he reacts quite badly to getting his but then he's apologising for it, the way he's reacted, and kind of try to calm himself down. But then you're thinking, but then you were fucking a 17-year-old girl, so you're not. I'd like them to have either just gone a little bit full dickhead with him. I don't think they went full dickhead enough with him. I think he became a little bit of a messy kind of character, and they all.
But is that not is that not more interesting than him going full dickhead though?
No, I'd preferred full dickhead by that point. By that point, I wanted something because none of them were interesting enough. Nobody. That was it. The film was vaguely was interesting enough. None of the fucking characters were interesting.
Yeah,
that's it.
I can see that.
The aspiration, the framing, the whole, the shot, the mood, everything was interesting, was nice, but not a fucking single character was interesting, because I don't think a single character was formed enough. You know, he turns around and says to, you know, he's clearly playing Kirsten Dunst's character.
Yeah.
He's clearly playing her, but for what end? Does he know something that we don't about her? Because I don't see what he achieves out of it, out of playing her. He'd be more sense playing Nicole Kidman, and you get the feeling that he quite easily could have played her just as easy as he does Kirsten Dunst, and she would have been the better one to pick.
I don't know. I mean, it feels to me like he's just enjoying fucking with them.
But he doesn't fuck with them enough.
He fucks with Kirsten Dunst plenty,
He
I
fucks with
think.
Kirsten Dunst a little bit, but not enough for me. No.
Oh, dude, come on. I mean, like, when he says I love you and she's like, don't say that, and, you know...
Yeah, but as soon as you said that, it made me go, you fucking dumbass. You deserve everything that happens to you, and then not enough happens to her.
Yeah, okay, that's... But the thing is, there's a lot of shit unsaid here, though. Like, there are multiple readings I think you could do of the instant aftermath of him going down the stairs and what happens there.
Yeah.
And I'd like to rewatch the film to kind of get a sense of that. And, I mean, Jesus Christ, Elle Fanning, she's not given an awful lot to do here.
But that's Elle Fanning's thing. She plays that character pretty much all of the time now.
Well, yeah, yes, okay. Well, I mean, to be fair, she's played that character in this and Neon Demon.
I always find it would be a little bit like that float, like you look at her going, hey, you're not all there. I always get a feeling with Elle Fanning, like she's not all there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's like I say. I mean, I wanna watch it again because I wanna kind of like now. Knowing what happens in the film, I want to watch the character dynamics more, and I mean the scene where Colin Farrell is just drunk, horny guy is there's a streak of black comedy running through this film, which I really enjoy. But then also, like I say, the moment with the turtle. I was like, oh, don't do that. You know, like...
I think at that moment my brain went, it's been a dick move.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like, it got an audible reaction out of me. You know, War for the Planet of the Apes didn't get an audible reaction out of me. That did, and even though War for the Planet of the Apes practically had me crying, so I suppose there's that. But it's the fact that it got something out of me, which a lot of films don't, and I think it was because I was into their little relationship. You know, and you know, just the way that the slightly bigger girl, when they're eating dinner and they're talking about the apple pie, and she was like, "I like apple pie too," and he's like, "Oh, do you now?" You know, he just kind of says, "Oh, fuck off," but in like the nicest way possible. You know,
you don't give a shit about her.
Yeah, no, exactly. And then the kind of the reaction, like I think, like either Dunst or Kidman, there's like a shot of them after, kind of like smiling at that, and I enjoyed those moments. The film as a whole, like I say, it's not Sofia Coppola's best film by a long chalk. But I think I thought it was a very watchable film, and I enjoyed the mood of the piece and the atmosphere of the piece, like you say. It sounds like I was into it more than you were.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think you got more of a connection with the characters than I did. And like I say, I can completely get that with people. It's not a film. I definitely don't think it's shit. It's not a definite shit. I'm touching cloth on it. Okay. It could go either way. The next time I watch, because I will watch it again. I'll watch it with Bex when it comes out. But I like that. I think by that point I'll either be, no, I think this is a bit shit. For me, in my view, it'll be a bit shit. But it's not one where somebody says, "Oh, Beguiled was fantastic." I'll go, "Well, no, it's not actually, it's shit." I won't argue with them. If somebody puts it at the fucking top of their year's list, I'll be like, "Really? How many movies did you watch?" But because there's not enough goes on in this movie. I don't see how anyone could think enough goes on to make it a great movie.
I can see why she won Best Direction at Cannes, though.
I can see why she won Best Direction at Cannes.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Okay.
Yeah, is what I'd say there. But yeah, I'm touching cloth on it. I'm guessing you're definitely not shit on it.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Our audience views, definitely not shit, 25%. Touching cloth, 50%, and shit, 25%.
Did we have 4 votes?
We had 4 votes.
Fair enough.
So that's highly comprehensive. One question, I believe, but do we have one from last week as well? No, we answered the one from last week. Actually, we answered it during the show.
Yes.
Yeah. One this week. Andrew Jones, Ethan Runs. If you could watch Dunkirk in any format, why is the right answer on Netflix in 3 years' time?
It's not.
It's not.
If it's financially feasible for you to see it in 70mm IMAX, then great.
Yeah.
The best way of seeing it financially for you is the best way to see it.
Yeah.
So I will be seeing it in Dolby Atmos.
Yeah.
At Cineworld Super Screen.
Is that digitally projected?
Yes. Now the thing is, I realised the time. I'll be quick.
No, that's fine.
Right. So IMAX.
Yep.
If it's digital IMAX, which apparently, if it's not IMAX Xenon, then you're not going to be getting the IMAX version, which actually fills the screen during the filling the screen shots. So my question would be, why the fuck are you watching it in IMAX then?
Yeah.
Because it's just a big screen in that case. When it's not even filling the frame, it's just a big screen. There you go.
Yeah.
So I think, like, the thing is, I was going to go and see it in fake IMAX at the Cardiff Odeon because I thought at least that those shots would be filling the screen. Apparently not. So I'm not going to waste my money. With my unlimited card, it's going to cost me £2.25 to go and see it in Dolby Atmos. That's what I'm fucking doing.
Yeah. I'm going to see it. Thing is, I'm going to see it on Friday night. Bex is out on Friday night. I'm at work from 8 in the morning until 8 at night. I'm literally leaving work and driving straight into town, and I'm going to watch it on 35mm.
Oh, sweet, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Where's that to?
City Screen in York.
Good for you. Oh,
I went on 35mm, which is kind of like special to me because of my absolute love for film.
Lovely.
The actual thing, film. I am already in my mind going, if I really, really, really fucking like it, I've got the weekend after off work, and I'm contemplating if it's still playing in IMAX 70mm, possibly going to see him in IMAX 70mm. But then I'm also saying to myself, right, but that's going to cost you 25 quid for a ticket and like 30 quid in petrol. And then the whole fucking thing's probably going to cost you another 20 quid on top of that or whatever. So I'm looking at, right, being reasonable, do I really want to spend £100 on watching a movie twice in a week?
That's exactly it. It's like literally because we
unfortunately, my work fucked this up. I fucked this up actually with my work, not my work's fault, my fault. We were all going to meet up in Manchester to watch it on the 70mm IMAX, but I'm unfortunately now working the entire weekend. And the thing is, I would have happily paid it to go that because it wouldn't have just been going to see the movie, it'd have been a catch up with yourself and and that had been part of it, and I'd happily pay £100 for that fucking pleasure.
Same.
There. But I would probably sort of say, no, you're going to be around, I'm going to come in and watch this and catch up and say hello, etc. and do that. So I'd get that, and I'm always happy to do that. But I'm also looking at it going, right, now, money's not an issue for me, but it's also not an issue for me. And so I need to, I'm looking at it going, I could spend that near 85 quid on something else. I could take the girls out for the fucking day rather than going, right, I'm going to go to Manchester and watch this movie that I've already seen again because I'm a snob. So it's that. But I am very much looking forward to seeing it in 35mm. What I must commend City Screen on is when they've listed it, Dunkirk being shown, they're listing and they're saying what screening you'll be seeing. So they're listing it twice. Okay. So there's the digital listing and the 35mm listing as well.
Doesn't cost any more, does it?
No, I don't think so. But yeah, so that's pretty fucking cool. So I'm very much looking forward to that.
I want my immersive audio. I'm happy enough with that. Friday evening, can't fucking wait.
Which will be quite interesting to see, how we both come at it from different sides because you're watching it in the best digital format you can see it in, and I'm watching it in the best film format I can see it in, which is quite cool.
I really need a wee, so...
Right, we're covering Dunkirk next week, in case you didn't guess. The Patreon, please, if you would like to, then sign up for that. I will announce in the next few days what show I'm going to be doing on it. It will be a minimum of those 4 extra shows. Yeah, we may throw the stuff on there. Mm-hmm. So you'd be prepared for that.
Thanks to Steve again.
Thank you very much, Steve. Yes, and look forward to whatever you're going to fucking throw at us with the commentary. DoingTheMonkey.com, there will be more writing happening on that. I'm getting back on board. I think Ian's liking getting back on board with that, so that'll be growing from there. We will cover Twin Peaks next week, we promise, as well as Dunkirk and what we've been watching. At Ian Loring, at DudeFors, at Dude and the Monkey, dudeandthemonkey.gmail.com. Thank you very much for listening. We shall speak to you next week.
Bye-bye.